Hi everyone, I'm back to show you how to make these crystal portrait earrings that I have posted on iBead for you. I've made these in a few colors, but I don't have them all with me at the moment. So for this project today, you're going to need an 18 by 25 oval link, and these are by Beadalon. You're going to need two of those, and they're 18 by 25. You're going to need two earring hooks, whichever kind you use. You're going to need six 6mm rounds. You're going to need four 3mm rounds. You're going to need a size 11 Toho seed bead, size 15 Toho seed bead, and two colors of Superduos. Now I haven't done these in the twin beads yet, so if you want this earring to look like mine, you might want to use the Superduos. You can try it with twin, but twins are a little bit smaller than a Superduo. Same with the Toho 11os. They're different shape. They're more of a cylinder bead than a check bead, so you might want to use the Tohos. You're going to need a size 12 beading needle, a pair of pliers just to open your earring hooks, 6-pound Fireline. I'm using smoke so you can see it. And on my needle I have strung about 1.5 yards of Fireline to get started. So to get started, I'm going to dump all my stuff, easier for me to work with, off my mat than it is to work out of these trays. To get started, you're going to pick up one oval link, like so. Go to the end of your thread there, put it through the oval link like so, and you're going to just tie this into a couple of good knots. So I'm going to tie surgeon's knot, so I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to wrap this around twice and pull. And you really don't need a huge long tail, because I'm going to show you what to do with your tail. And again, one more good knot, so it's good and strong. And I'm sorry I'm still sick, but I really wanted to get my video up because I'm running really behind and there's no videos, no new videos. So I'm doing it while I'm sick, and I'm doing it while I'm cooking my Thanksgiving turkey, and that's in the oven. We're all going to my sister's for Thanksgiving, so that's cooking. Alright, to get started now, what you're going to do is weave your tail in. As you go around your oval link, you're going to just weave this tail in, and it'll kind of sit on the top of this part of your oval link. So to get started, pick up two. The very first one on brick stitch, you need to pick up two. The very first. I hold it like so, and I come through the link like so. So you're going to put your needle through the link, and my beads disappear. And you're going to I hold the beads like this, so you're going to come through the bead this way and pull. And your beads will sit flat, flush with your link, pulling it nice and tight. This one's going to stick up and be a bit funky up there, but once we join our last bead to this one, it'll sit nice and flat. So my tail is still on the top there, so we're going to pick up one more. Bring it all the way down, let it fall right to your oval link. Put your needle through your link and then through your bead like so. So this is just simple brick stitch and pull. Again, keeping in mind that your tail is there. So you're going to pick up another one, let it fall. through your hoop and into the bead this way. And pulling my tail as I go and keeping this nice and tight. So you're going to do that until you have 34 beads around this whole entire oval link. And I'll come back and I'll show you how to put your last bead on and how to join it here so they all sit flat. So I'll see you back here in a few. Okay, I've got 33 beads on here and I'm going to show you how to do the last one. I'm going to pick it up, do it the same way as you would, as you have with all the rest of them. You're going to come up through here, through your bead, and you're going to pull it in place. Now there's kind of a bit of a gap there, but you're going to fill that gap because we're just going to push all these beads together. You're going to go down through the first bead that you put on, down this way, and pull tight to fill that gap. There we go. You're going to come back up through the last bead you put on, like so, and pull tight. And that really should fill your gap. So your oval link is completely done. Now I kind of need to get to the center. Now the center by means, what I mean is you need to be between two beads, and between these two beads this is not centered, so I gotta kind of shuffle these beads around, push them around this link so I can have the center, and I'm just gonna push them all the way like so. So there is, pulling this tight because it's coming loose. I think that needs to still shuffle a bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I know it's a bit tricky to do this, but it's got to be done. Alright. Now, what we need to do is you need to go down in the bead beside the one, because I need to get into the middle here. And I'm just going to weave my thread through the middle, the beads, but not going into the bead. I'm just going between the beads. Not going in them. I'm going between them. Like so. My needle fell out. Alright, like so. Now I'm just going to drop this through the link, like through the center, and I'm going to come back up between the two beads because I want to make a good strong area to hang my dangle. There's one time, I'm going to do it twice because I want to be in the center. So I'm just coming up between the beads. Okay, like so, between the two top beads. Now to do your dangle, you're going to pick up 111, 1 3mm, 111, 1 3mm, 111, 1 6mm, and 111, and just let them fall all the way to the end, like so. So you have this. Skip the last bead you put on, the 11, and you're going to run your needle back up through all those beads again. Like so. Now, Fireline is a bit stiff, so in order to let this dangle nicely. Don't pull it super tight here. But don't have a big gap here either. So what you're going to do is just keep wiggling it a little bit. Don't pull it too tight. And as you can see, I pulled it tight. There we go. Now what you're going to continue to do is go back between the beads, like so, and just do a couple of wraps around your oval link, and go on each side of your dangle. So I'm going to go here on this side first. Okay, I'm going to go on this side. Dangle doesn't want to cooperate. Through your bead, between your beads, like so, pulling a little tight, keeping in mind you don't want this dangle tight. Come up on this side, between your beads, like so, and there, your dangle is in place. And it's pretty centered. Alright, so you're coming out of between the two beads here, so just put your needle through. This time go into the bead on the right side of your dangle, like so. So you're coming out of the top bead here, and that's where you want to be. So your dangle is between the two top beads, and you're going to come out on the bead on the right side or left side, whatever side your left right, oh my gosh, left-handed or right-handed. I'm right-handed, so I'm coming out on the right side. Okay, then you're going to pick up an 11. You're going to pick up 2 Superduos. And I'm just checking mine to make sure all the holes are open. You're exiting up here. You're going to skip one bead and go down through the next bead, like so. And they're going to sit nicely. You're going to come back up through the bead right beside the one you just went down. You're going to go up it. I'm sorry, I'm still sick. You're going to pick up an 11, 2 Superduos, an 11, oops, 1. You're going to skip the bead beside the one you just came up and go down in the bead after you skip it. So this is what you're going to have. Then you're going to come back up through the bead beside the one you just went down. Okay, you're going to do this until you have 5 groups, and then I'm going to show you what to do at the bottom. So do 5, you should have 5 sets of 2 like this. Do that, and I'll be right back to show you what to do at the bottom. Okay, so you've got your 5 sets of 2. Now for the bottom, you're going to pick up an 11, and you're going to pick up 3 Superduos and an 11, and you're coming out here. You're going to skip 2 beads and go down into the next. So you're kind of working over these 4 beads. So skip 2. And this is what you'll have. And then you'll just go back up into the bead beside the one you exited. And pull tight. And continue with the next row of 5, and then I'll be back to show you what to do next. Okay. So you finished putting all your Superduos on. You're exiting out of the top of that bead. Now you're just going to weave your thread through to get to the top of one of these Superduos. So I'm going to go through the 11 like so. That's the one I put on with the Superduo. I'm going to go through the 2 bottoms of these Superduos like so. And then I'm going to go through the top of only one Superduo between like this. So I'm facing in towards the middle of these 2 Superduos. And then you're going to start with your other color. You're going to pick up 2. And you're just going to go across into this one without having a knot, which I've got already. And you're going to sit the 2 in there like so. You're going to pick up 1. You're going to go across to the next group. Pick up 2 more between the 2. So it's just pick up 2, pick up 1, pick up 2. Pick up 1. And you're going to do that till you get to the bottom. And at the bottom, you're just going to put 1 in between the 3 that you put here. But I'll do this until we get to the bottom so you can see what I'm doing. So 2 between the 2, and then 1 between the 2. Oops, that's like it, like so. Pick up 2. Now, when you get to the bottom here, between these 3, you're going to put 1, 1, 1, and 1. So there's only going to be 1 between them all. 1 between the group, and 1 between each Superduo here. Like so. 1 more. I check these just to make sure all the holes are open. Some of these are not got the hole all the way through. And that's what you're going to have. So continue to do this all the way around. And you can push these ones to the back of your work if you want. Finish doing that, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay, now that you've got that done, you're exiting out of the Superduo in this bottom row. You're going to bring your needle through the same way as you did before, through these 2 bottom Superduos, and you're going to exit at the top as you did in the previous round. So exit here. Now you should be exiting between a group of 2. Alright? Now you're going to pick up a 15, an 11, and a 15 on your needle, and you're just going to go right across into the next Superduo beside it, like so. Okay? That's what you're going to have. Then you're going to pick up 5 15s, Right directly below where you're exiting here is your group of 2 11-Os. You're going to exit through the 2. You're going to go through both 11s like so. And you're going to pull. Don't worry about this single Superduo, just let it fall to the back. You're going to pick up 115 and you're going to go back up through the 2 11s right beside the ones where you exited, and you're just going to let that 15 sit right there on top. Pick up 5 more 15s and go into the next group of 2 Superduos. And make sure you work your 15s to sit on top like so. And just push this Superduo to the back. So you're going to pick up a 15, an 11, and a 15, because you're between your Superduos, your group of 2. Put that in there like so. Pick up 5 15s. Right below your groups of 2 is 2 11s stacked on top, and you're going to exit through those 2. Like so. Pick up 1 15 and go back up through the 2 that are right beside the ones you exited. It could be a bit tricky getting back up in those 11s. I'm kind of bending the crap out of my needle here. Okay, well, I got through 1, and I'm going to exit through the second one like so, and pull that tight. And these 15s will just sit nicely on top. Pick up 5 15s and exit through your Superduo, pushing that single duo to the back by itself. And you should have this. Pick up a 15, an 11, and a 15. Go across between there. Pick up 5 15s. Going into these. And it's quite easy to snag it, because Superduos that stick up all over the place, your thread's bound to snag on it. Alright, back up through these 2. I'm really bending the crap out of my needle here. But you need a size 12, I think, because of the 15. Some of them are just so small, the holes. Okay, pick up 5. 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I got a phone call. Now, I've continued to do this until you've reached the bottom of your link here. So you should have 5 groups of the embellishment of the 15 O-seed beads. And then you're going to come to the bottom where you've got a big space here. In this space is you're going to pick up a 15, one of your 6 millimeters, and a 15. So remember, you've only gotten, you should have 5 groups of these done, and then you'll hit the bottom. You're just going to go across into the next Superduo, pulling this tight, and then continue working on your embellishment by picking up 5 seed beads, 15s. Boy, my needle's really bent. 3, 4, 5. Oops. Wow, my needle's really bent. And then you're going to continue with your embellishing, pushing these single ones. So you're going to go down through the 2, like so, pulling very tight, picking up 1, and just continuing with the embellishment all the way till you get to the top, and then I'll be back to show you what to do next. Okay, once you've completed putting all your embellishments on the top, you're going to be exiting out of the Superduo at the top here. So you're just going to find a path to get into one of these beads, probably this one right below the group there. So I'm just going to go through these 3 beads here, pulling tight, and through the Superduo, and trying to find a path. So I'm going to have to go down in the bottom of the Superduos. So I'm going to go through both of these green Superduos. If I can get this to stay on the back, because I'm working from the back of my beadwork. And it's a bit tricky to get between all these beads, but you'll eventually get into it. Now, I'm trying to get through the 2 bottom green Superduos, and it's not easy. Maybe I should just go through one if I can. Or just bend my needle some more. Well, I'll go through one bottom piece, making sure I don't catch my thread. Through another, and then you're going to go through this bottom one, so you're in these 2, and through the top of the very first row here of Superduos, and then you're going to pull tight. Then you're going to go across into this one, which is a lonely one all by itself. You're going to go in that one and only that one. Alright. And into the top there. So whatever way you can manage to stick with your thread path, just get into one of these single Superduos. Now you're going to pick up 5 15s, and you're just going to go across to the next single one all by itself, pulling very tight. And you're going to do that till you get to the bottom. So pick up 5 more into the next one. Pick up 5. Into the next one. Oopsies, I skipped one. Try not to skip one. 1, 2, 3, 5, into the next. Step 5. Alright, once you get to the bottom where your crystal is, you're going to pick up 7. And you're going to pull your work very tight. So you're going to put 7 between this gap here. Right here. So 1, 2, 7. And into this one here. Like so. And then continue doing the 5. And I'll be back. Okay. Now that you've gotten this part all done, this is kind of where you pull it really tight and it makes it look like it's an actual portrait. So you're exiting out of the last Superduo on the back here. Now we got to go through this weaving till we get to the top here. So we're going to go down into the bottom of that Superduo, the one you're exiting out of. So you're going to go through the bottom hole, keeping your work pulled very tight. Then you're going to exit through the Superduo that's beside it. Again, pulling tight. And then into your top green Superduos, or whatever color Superduo you're using. And then through the top of it, exiting like so. And pull it tight. So now we're exiting at the very top where we need to be so we can put our crystal in the top. So for this you're going to pick up a 15, your 6mm, and a 15, like so, and just go straight across into the Superduo and pulling your crystal into place. So it looks like this. Alright. Now, for the bail, I need to be exiting out of this green crystal. I am just, where I exited in this Superduo, I am just going to tie a 1/2 hitch knot between that and the 15 and pulling it tight. And the reason I did that is because I want to go back into this Superduo that I just exited out of it. So I'm exiting out of the green crystal. Missed the 15. So I got to go through the Superduo, the 15, and the green crystal. There we go. And exiting out of that. So it looks like this. And there's your back. Alright, I need to straighten my needle a little bit, so I use pliers just to straighten this needle. For some reason I really bend the heck out of these size 12 beading needles, but this is a lot of tight work, so I kind of just use my pliers, straighten it the best I can. Now for your bail, you're just going to pick up we're going to pick up 15s. Pick up 8 15s. And you're just going to make a circle and go right back through your crystal like so. So that these sit on top. Oopsies, sorry, go back out. Pick up more than, oh boy. I'm snagged here somewhere. And I can see it's right there. Okay, my thread split, so I'm going to have to take it off. I'm sorry. We're going to pick up 12 15s. I done this with the 6/0s and or the 11/0s, and I don't like it. So I'm going to try it with the 15s. I think it'll look a little more petite. Well, I managed to thread this bent needle. Nope. Okay, time to do it the old-fashioned way. It's kind of hard to do this way when you have a needle really bent out of whack. Alright, so I have 8. Let me see if 12 is going to be enough. Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. So now you're going to come back through your crystal again. And then you're going to go through all 12 of these 15s because you need to reinforce this. And this is why I wanted to use sorry, a size 12 beading needle, just so I can go through the 15s a little more. So I'm just going through these a few times. Pulling it tight. And I think I'm going to go through them one more time. 3 times a charm. Yeah, and my needle fits through it 3 times. If you were to use a size 10, you're lucky if you get it through twice. There, and then we're just going to tie this thread off with some half-hitch knots, pulling this tight. So let's tie it off here. And I like to wrap my needle through this twice and pulling it tight. So I'm going to tie a couple of more here. Wrap your needle twice, put your needle twice through the loop, pulling it tight. Because the last thing you want is your work to all come apart after all this hard work of making your earring. And we'll stick one more in here, and then I'm going to go through a few beads and cut it off. Alright. So I'm going through the Superduos, and I'm going to go through some of these 15s down the front here. It's a bit tricky. There we go. And we're going to tie it off. Cut it off. Alright. Now, get one of your earrings. And the reason you needed your pliers is to open your loop, so just give it a twist this way.
I want that one.
Make sure you hang. Oh, might have to open that a wee bit more. You just kind of make it rounded. There we go. So I can put this on there and twist your loop closed. I'm using sterling silver ear wires because I can't wear anything but sterling silver. And there you have your crystal portrait earring. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and next week I believe I will be doing a bracelet that I had designed, and I hope you enjoy it. See you next time on the next video. Bye-bye.